Okay, what's going on, my super friends? It's your pal SuperDude back again. Now, here's the thing. What started out as a just because video turned into a spark of interest to get questions from my friends. And it's turned into a Q&A of massive proportions. Now, I have questions on this list that I have to look at periodically from time to time after time. No, okay. And this video could be anywhere from 15 minutes to 30 to an hour to 2, however long I feel like, and however long it takes me to answer all these cool questions. I may do these in 2 parts, I don't know. So if your question doesn't get answered in part 1, look quickly for part 2, because I only have like 11% battery, and it may die, and if it does, I'll do this all over again, because this is fun, and this is what I live for. I love this. Alright. So we are going to go head first into a comic book question, because I love answering those. What is my opinion on the ninja costumes for Jackie and Cassie, and would I have chosen to put them in? That is a very interesting question, Jade. Yes, a lot of these are from Jade because she's chock full of questions. A lot of them are from an anonymous source who chooses to be anonymous, and I will let them remain anonymous. A lot of these are, some of these are wrestling questions, some of these are comic books, some of these are Mortal Kombat related, some of these are video game related, movies, random questions. It's an eclectic mix of anything and everything these people could think of. So, here we go. Yeah, just... hold on. I'm telling them to keep these questions rolling in, because I will answer as many as I feel like. And I probably feel like answering all of them. I really like these. Okay, so back to the initial opinions on the ninja costumes for Cassie and Jackie and would I have chosen to put them in. Okay, opinions on the costumes first. I like them. It's a cool idea. It's a unique idea, I think. Because you always see classic ninjas wearing their classic ninja costumes. You don't really see something like this cosplay pack where characters are wearing other, like, characters' costumes. Like, you don't see, for example, you don't see Johnny Cage dressed up as, I'm putting my hat back on, Johnny Cage dressed up as Jax, or you don't see Sonya dressed up as Liu Kang, or anything like that. But now you're seeing Jackie and Cassie dressing up as Sub-Zero and Scorpion. It's a really unique idea. Now, would I have chosen to put those costumes in? Not necessarily. I probably would never have thought, like I said, I would have never thought of that idea. But now that the idea is out there, I'm behind it 100%. And if this idea was put in front of me and I was asked, would I put those in this game? Yes, 1,000 times over. This is a really cool something to do with Jackie and Cassie. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm organizing. They don't have a lot of skins, and it's really cool to see. You're probably going to hear some Facebook pops, which is the little pings, which is those people asking questions. There's another one. And another one. And another one. Anyway, yeah, that's my opinion on those. I love them. I can't wait to get them. If I have to buy them, I will. I'm excited for the medieval pack because it's got a costume in there for Ferrator, which is a character that I love. But yeah, I would definitely put those costumes in. Thanks, Jade. And yes, guys, her name is Jade. She's not mocking the character the MK character that died, or that they didn't put back in. Excuse me. Ah ha 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 ha. By the way, ha ha ha, no J for you. You no get no J. No J for you. You don't get it. You don't know it has Jade. You don't get it for you. That's what I think of the people who are overly salty about one Mortal Kombat character not making it in. Okay, another question from an anonymous source. If I had $1,000,000, how would I spend it? Oh, that's a tough one. I would probably invest it all in wrestling and my life, essentially. I would use it to get a car, find a nice place to live, and whatever didn't come out of that would go into, I'd probably just rent a place on that. I'd basically be a redneck with $1,000,000. I'd get me a nice go-kart and a nice scooter to get around. I would, I'd probably put some back towards the church, the 10%. Yeah, so I'd have $900,000. I wouldn't have $1,000,000. I would probably invest a lot in wrestling gear and maybe and more than likely help out the wrestling that I do. Shout out XWX. Give them some of that money. Give my family some of that money and just spend a portion of it on video game stuff because I'm an avid gamer. Probably buy everything they have for Mortal Kombat twice just to support the game that I love so much. Probably, if I had $1,000,000 that I didn't have to spend on family and stuff like that, I would probably try to buy a stake a claim into the NetherRealm Studios. I'd probably try to buy a portion of that so I had a say-so in this video game. But I'm not going to go video game, comic book, wrestling with all that, but I am going to go through all these questions. One of my pal of mine, Caden, asks, what do I think about all the WWE wrestlers out with injuries? That's a good one, Cade. I think it's awful that this happened. I think it's detrimental to the company that this is happening because everybody in the last little while has been dropping off with injury. You've got Randy Orton out with injury. You've got Seth Rollins. You've got one of the Bellas. Daniel Bryan just retired because of injury. John Cena's out with injury. Injury after injury after injury. And it's really cutting it down. And I think it's bad for some people, but I think it rips a hole open for other people to crawl through. And it opens up a huge opportunity for your Finn Balor's and your AJ Styles and your Sami Zayn's and the people that you're not pushing because you have these people to fall back on. Well, now you don't have them to fall back on anymore. So it's kind of forcing you to push better, to push new talent, to push more people to do different things. So I think it's bad, but at the same time, I think it's going to help the company in the long run and help these people get opportunities that are not being given them because of the John Cena's and the Randy Ortons they have to fall back on. So that's what I have there. Also, quick mention. I am very disheartened to hear that Daniel Bryan had to retire. I mean, he got to do what he loved for 17 years. Some of us don't get to do it that long. Some of us do get to do it longer. But the fact that he still has so much passion and he can still give, and because of all these injuries and things, and the WWE just not wanting him to, or whatever that situation is there, I'm not going to speak on that because I don't know. But it definitely hits close to home. That one's rough to see a talent like Daniel Bryan have to hang up the boots, as it were. But enough of that. If you're watching this, Daniel Bryan, which I'm sure you're not, but good for you, man. Also, Bret Hart, if you see this, which I doubt you will, but all in all, keep fighting, man. Fight, Bret, fight. I have you on the prayer list at our church. I have you because cancer sucks. There's no other way around it. It's a rough thing, and the fact that you've got it, you're gonna fight it because that's what you do. You're a fighter, and we're all praying for you. I know we are in the wrestling world. WWE is definitely praying for you, your family and friends, and even people like me that you don't know, that you've never met. All your fans. I'm 100% sure if they pray, they are praying for you. But oh, that's making me cry almost. But moving on. Okay. Whew. Favorite movies and why? Well, that's a tie for Lion King and Hercules, respectively, because both of those hold a place in my heart. Lion King because I was born the day before the movie came out in theaters, so I have like a sort of emotional attachment there because it was the first Disney movie I ever watched. It was the first Disney. I vaguely remember watching it as a baby on VHS tape. That was the thing. I remember watching it as a little kid and loving it. I watch it nowadays as a 21-year-old making these kind of videos and still love the Lion King to pieces. The same thing goes with Hercules. And the soundtracks for both of those movies are great. Hercules was a Greek mythology Disney movie, which is amazing. I like pointing out the different characters and like, oh, I know that guy's story, and I know the tale behind them, and I know why he's named that, and I know that, and I know this. It's really cool to do. I cry like a baby still watching Lion King whenever the thing happens that we won't mention on this channel. And if you don't like Lion King, I'm gonna have to ask, why do you just not like nice things? Is something wrong with you emotionally that we can get together and fix? I mean, you can talk to me, man. If you're feeling so bad in the world that Lion King can't make you feel better, or that Hercules can't make you feel better with that heartwarming story, then I don't know what to do. We need to talk, and you need to take a nap and enjoy a cupcake, because that's just not something that should happen in life. You don't deserve. I don't deserve that kind of negativity in my life. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you got me. All right, let's see. Next question. Am I looking forward to the Civil War movie that is coming out in a few months? What she is referring to, Jade, again, she asked a lot of them, so she's going to be here. And by the way, before you guys jump on me, no, I'm not biased to who I pick questions from. I take questions from everybody. It's just that Jade is far more active in asking me questions when I do these types of things. If you want your questions ask 1,000, I'll answer 1,000. So it's not biasism, it's just who I get questions from, and she asks them because she likes to help me out with these videos, so thank you for that, Jade. But I don't want you to think that I just answer her questions. I've got questions here from a few different people that I'm answering, and I'm going back and forth. If you have one you want to ask it. I'll answer it. I'll answer it in a video, even if it's not a Q&A. I'll answer it for no reason. But what she's referring to is the Marvel Captain America Civil War. Am I looking forward to it? Yes and no. I'm looking forward to it in the sense that I get to see War Machine, and anytime I get to see War Machine, I'm happy. Anytime I get to see a superhero movie, I'm happy. Anytime I get to see... Oh, hey. There's cute little Mackenzie. It's adorable. Yeah, she makes me smile. Sorry, I'm a nerd. Hold on. But yeah, she's referring to the Civil War movie with Marvel, and I'm excited for it, but at the same time I'm not. Sorry, I'm looking forward to it because, like I said, War Machine. And sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm getting 1,000, like hundreds, maybe not hundreds, but question after question, and I'm trying to like click them and read them and save them. But I'm a big fan of War Machine. If you guys know, I'm a DC fan of Superman, but I'm not biased. I like DC and Marvel. I believe we can have vanilla and strawberry in that aspect. I believe that you can have Coke and Pepsi. I believe that you can have all the best of both worlds. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? I don't think you should have to choose Marvel versus DC. I think it's dumb. I don't like one more than the other. Each has its upsides and downsides. However, when it comes back to the point, when it comes to Marvel, I like Thor. I'm a fan of Thor. I'm a huge fan of War Machine, even over Iron Man. I like the Tony Stark character more than the War Machine character, or like more than the whoever's behind War Machine. I don't know the name of the guy behind War Machine. Tony Rhodes, I think, is Captain James Rhodes. That's it, James Rhodes. I don't like the James Rhodes character on screen, and that's not a racist thing. I don't not like him because he's black. I don't care what color he is. He's just a sort of bland there kind of guy to me. But the War Machine suit I like a lot. I like the idea of the War Machine suit. Like, the Iron Man suits are cool, but the War Machine is just guns and cannons and grenades and all sorts of... If I could pick an Iron Man suit, I'd pick the War Machine suit. Like, if I could pick one of his suits that he made, I would wear the War Machine suit. Not the Iron Patriot suit. Yay America, but I want the War Machine, the gray and the black and the big turret machine gun mounted on the shoulder. That thing. I'm excited because I get to see Scarlet Witch again, which I like the Scarlet Witch for this one. I like the Scarlet Witch that they've put in this one. I wish there were more movie characters in this. For example, some of the Marvel characters that I want to see in this are not going to be in this. Sif, Lady Sif from the Thor's not even going to be in this. Hulk's not going to be in this. So that's one of the reasons I'm kind of about it. I'm still hyped for it, but I'm not as hyped as I could be because there's not going to be Thor, there's not going to be Hulk, there's not going to be this and that. Spider-Man supposedly going to be in the movie, but in the Civil War, this is one of those where the comic book is going to be better than the movie. It just is, because you had hundreds of people fighting in the comics, but thanks to these people owning the rights to mutants and X-Men, and these people owning the rights to this franchise, and it's all one big mess. They're doing the best with what they can. I mean, we get Black Panther, so Black Panther, that's cool. It's really something. It's really something special. I like the Black Panther comic book character. I like the Black Panther suit that they gave him in the movie. I can't wait to see the standalone Black Panther movie. Am I picking a side? Captain America versus Team Iron Man? I'm kind of neutral in this one because each side has people on it that I enjoy. Captain America gets Scarlet Witch, but Team Cap gets War Machine and Black Panther, it looks like. I'm kind of torn because I like the reason Captain America's fighting. Like, I agree with his reason, but I like the people more on the Iron Man side of things. If I were a superhero, what side would I fight on? I would probably fight for myself. I don't agree with the Sokovia Accords, as it were. I don't agree that I should register my identity to you and work as a super slave or work as a super soldier for you. I just let me do my superhero thing where they need me. All you're doing is using superheroes at that point to further your warlike goals. I don't like it. I'm not about that. But yeah, I hope that answers that. I may do... Actually, I'll answer that later on because I have that question here. So, another wrestling question. Who is my favorite wrestler? Well, Cade, I don't know if you mean my favorite wrestler currently or of all time or what, but I could do a video for an hour just talking about my favorite wrestlers. I always loved watching Taz do his thing. Chris Benoit, Samoa Joe, your submissionists. I love watching submissionists do their thing. Currently, I'm a big fan of Chad Gable's work. I'm a big fan of Enzo and Cass's thing they got going on. Bada bing, bada boom. Realest YouTuber in the room. How you doing? I like the fact that the WWE signed AJ Styles. I had that question a couple times on my Twitter account. What do I think of AJ Styles signing with WWE? I think it's a huge gain for WWE. I think if they use him right, that he could be the next big draw for them. I mean, he's already outsold John Cena in T-shirts. That's great. I like the fact that they're signing these guys that are going to be real ups for them. Samoa Joe might not have much longer to wrestle. Like, he might only have a few years, but they're going to get a good bunch of matches in those few years that he's got. And only Joe knows how long Joe can go. They just signed Austin Aries. Spoiler alerts if you haven't. Sorry, if you haven't seen that. It's good that they're signing these people. Shinsuke Nakamura. Pardon me if I butchered that name. A huge name in Japan. I'm glad they got him. They're signing all these really cool people because the people that I loved and knew back then are slowly starting to retire. Edge. That one still hurts my heart to say. Daniel Bryan just recently, we talked about that. Shawn Michaels and Undertaker soon. Big Show soon. Mark Henry, Kane, those guys are going soon, and you're gonna need people to fill in, to replace, to back it up. I mean, Ric Flair, God bless him, he's gonna wrestle until he's 180. I'm pretty sure what he said about he's gonna die in the middle of a wrestling ring. That's probably gonna happen. No offense, I don't want that to happen. I'm not wishing death on him, but Ric Flair's what, 80, 60, 70 something? He's an old dude. And he's just still doing his thing, man. He's not wrestling anymore. I don't think he should be, in my opinion. I mean, he can wrestle as long as he wants to, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, he's Ric Flair. He can do what he wants, but you've got to have these guys to replace talent. Like, you have to have an upcoming roster, and they've got that with what they're doing here. So my favorite wrestler currently, I'm a fan of a bunch of them, but all time, ever, forever, Macho Man Randy Savage. I will never love a wrestler more than I loved Macho Man Randy Savage. His promos were great and hilarious. His in-ring work was on top of things. He had the great look. He had the charisma. He had everything you would want, which is why he is a legend and a Hall of Famer, and I wish he was still with us. Rest in peace, Macho Man. You will always hold in my heart the first wrestler I ever became a fan of. Like, I remember jumping off the back of the couch and elbow dropping family members and saying, "Ooh, yeah," because of that. You're the reason I started eating Slim Jims. So yeah, Macho Man, my favorite of all time. It's great. I hope that answers that for you. If you need more, if you want more in depth, just hit me up, Cade. I hope you watch this, man. But moving on. Okay. If I were given one day, I assume that means 24 hours, to go back in time and fix something, what would it be and why? See, that's a tough one because I could be selfish and fix something in my own life. I could be profound and fix something in the world. However, I don't think I would fix any huge world events. And this is just my thoughts on it. My thoughts on if you could time travel, don't. Because everybody's like, I would go back in time and change this. I feel like, just like with the show Legends of Tomorrow, the smallest changes in the past can affect the future ridiculously. Like, I wouldn't stop any major tragedies because major tragedies even though they are tragic, bring us close a little bit closer together like we deserve to be. When 9/11 happened, yes, it was a major, major tragedy, and I feel for the family members of the people who died in 9/11. And but you can't disagree that that brought us together much stronger as a nation than we ever were, and things like that. Petty things in my life, I probably wouldn't go back and change either. I may go back in time if I could and give my younger self advice. For example, always wear a belt. That's a good one. Uh, don't be a scumbag to people for no reason just because. Try to make friends with the people who don't have friends. Don't try to make friends with people who have 1,000 friends. Um, because I was one of the kids who didn't have friends, so I tried to be friends with everyone. And so I try to be friends with the popular kids, so their friends would be my friends. I would probably go back maybe and change some things I did relationship wise and friendship wise with some people. Go back and stop myself from saying some things I would have said, but I only have 24 hours to go back to do, or however long I've got, or whatever the stipulation is. I can't change the world. I just have to deal with it because they made me who I am now. Those things, the things that happened, put me where I am today, and I love it. I love where I'm at. So there's that. So yeah. Excuse me, anonymous person who shall remain anonymous and is completely anonymous. And I'm sorry, I have to push these sleeves up every so often. Let's see. No. Okay, what do I think Xenomorph's variations are going to be like? This is a cruel one, but to be honest, I don't care. When it comes to Xenomorph's variations, I know jack about the Alien franchise. The only things I know are the things I've learned from watching movies that reference the Alien franchise. I know he's got the alien face hugger thing, the chest burster thing. That's really as far as my knowledge goes. They have the little tongue in there, the little second mouth, whatever. I don't know, so I can't really specify variations. I guess he's gonna have a Baraka-like variation because the xenomorph was inside of Baraka. I don't know. I don't know what the variations could be. I don't know what the variation systems could be like for a xenomorph because I don't know a lot about Alien. Sorry if that disappointed you. That's as far as I can go with that because I don't have a lot there. Okay. Am I looking forward to X-Men Apocalypse? No. You would think I would be as an X-Men fan. No, I'm not looking forward to X-Men Apocalypse. Simply because the person that I I want to see in the movie is being played by an actor that I don't think deserves to play him. Gambit. I don't know if Gambit's in the movie, but Gambit is one of my, if not my favorite X-Men. There's Gambit, Juggernaut, Colossus. That's my favorite three. And he's being played by Channing Tatum. Gambit is, and I think that's a horrible decision. I mean, I have no pause against Channing Tatum as an actor, but he just doesn't fit the role of Gambit to me. I like the guy they had before. I don't know what happened with him. Channing Tatum plus Gambit equals awful. And if he's in X-Men Apocalypse, it's going to be a shame. I'm going to go watch it because it's a comic book movie. I kind of want to see it. I kind of want to see the younger versions of the mutants, like the Scott Summers. I'm wondering if Deadpool is going to cameo in it. I doubt it. I don't know a whole lot about the X-Men franchise either. I know a decent amount, but not as much as I do, say, the Marvel heroes in general, your Thors, your Iron Man, such and such and such and such, and your DC, obviously. I don't know. But it's one of those, like, it's on my bottom list of movies I'm excited for. And speaking of which, what do I think about the Deadpool movie is another question I got. Or hashtag, also, like, not hashtag, but also, am I going to go see it? I think the Deadpool movie's a great idea. Deadpool's a great comic book character. However, I'm probably not going to go watch the movie simply because it got the rating that it got. Now, let me paraphrase. Let me fix this by saying I'm not arguing with the rating of the movie because Deadpool is a rated R character. However, being the Christian that I am and the Baptist that I am, it could be very difficult to let that influence you. As my pastor said, Brother Chris, and I'm not trying to get real preachy on you, it is easy for a white horse to get dirty. It is far harder to clean that white horse. Which means it's easy to get sucked into something. It's harder to break yourself out of it. It's easy to start a habit. It is difficult to break one, essentially. And that's the same way. If you're a Christian and you're gonna watch the Deadpool movie, watch it with a grain of salt. Watch it with discretion. Pray strong about it before and after. Pray boldly. I may or may not watch that movie. It all depends on the circumstances. For example, I said I would never watch the Goosebumps movie until it came out on DVD, but the right circumstances at the right time got me to see that movie. So if the right circumstances and it's the right timing and I'm in the right location at the right time with the right amount of money and the right amount of this and the right amount of that, I may go watch it. It all depends. I'm not going to double standard and go watch it and tell you guys not to go watch it. I would just say if you're going to go watch it, do what I do. And if I do choose to watch the Deadpool movie, I'm going to watch it as a comic book fan, not as a fan of gore, violence, and curse words. But moving on. Sorry that sounded a little bit preachy, but I'm a fan of the Deadpool character myself. Just, he's not necessarily the Christian or he's not the religious nice guy, as it were. There are a lot of comic book questions here, and TV questions and such. Favorite variation from my favorite character. What she's talking about here is Mortal Kombat X. Favorite variation from my favorite character. I like the metallic variation of Tremor because he has that brutality where you turn into his lava skin and you send the rock shower up and it crispifies them into a puddle of dust. The name escapes me of the variation, but the Feraless variation for Ferrator. Ferrator is one of my favorite new characters. I like Fisticuffs Johnny Cage because it's got that forward square, triangle square, back and forth, like super combo thing. I like the smoke variation of Triborg already. I haven't played it. I've only seen it, but I like it. And I like the variationless one, Cyber Sub-Zero. Hellfire Scorpion is one of my. I like Scorpion. I'm Scorpion versus Sub-Zero. Scorpion all the way. Let's see. I like using Sonya. And I say all these because I don't know if it meant favorite variations. Oh, it says favorite variations of your favorite characters. I like Brawler, or maybe there's Brawler Cassie. Whichever Cassie has the takedown. Bojutsu Kunjin is good. Whiplash Takeda, the one where he uses his whips. I don't have a set favorites. I love Jax. Jax has always been one of my favorite characters. You can ask anybody. And I like his pumped up variation where he has the ground pound. because it's purple, and I got his classic costume, which I love. So there's purple, the classic purple pants are back, and then you got the ground pound, which is great. So let's see. I'm probably gonna have more comments. Whew. What causes you to wake up in the morning? I.e., what strives you to keep going? Oh, that's I'm not gonna say that's a tough one, but it's a very unexpected one. Family and friends are always I like waking up. Oh, I get to talk to my friends today. I get to talk to my brother today. That kind of thing. Wrestling is a big motivation. Being a Christian God, obviously, that I don't say that. And I don't say that because I'm not religious, and I don't say that because I'm embarrassed. I say that because it's obvious, or at least it should be. And I don't think that if you're a Christian, you should have to constantly, when people say, well, what's your favorite thing about life? Like, God is obvious. It should not have to be reiterated constantly. Yes, praise Him. Yes, love Him. Yes, worship Him. But that is just my opinion, is that I know, and people who know me know, that I love my God, so I should be able to say what strives me to keep going. God should be obvious, so I don't have to reiterate that. It's like, it would be like asking, what's on your hat? Superman, obviously. Why would I have to keep telling you that? But what causes me to wake up in the morning? Wrestling holds a big factor. Loving it, loving what I do, loving an opportunity to do it. Whenever I have wrestling shows, I always get up early that day. Whenever I have events to do, that's something. And just people in general. People who ask, you guys who ask these questions, friends of mine who might not necessarily watch my YouTube channel who ask these questions, my friends at church, family members, all sorts of people. Just the people in my life are the reason I like to get up in the morning, because it allows me to talk to them and allows them to talk to me, and it gives me a reason to keep smiling, even in the days where I want to not smile at all. That's kind of emo-y a little bit, but it's one of those things where I have more downs than I have ups, but I always look at the ups more than the downs. And it's like one of those things. If something bad happens to you, don't keep worrying about something else bad happening to you, or you're going to prevent anything good happening to you. That's the way I try to look at it. That's the way I try to live life in general. Is, yeah, 1,000 things are going to go wrong, but I try not to let it overwhelm me. Sometimes it does. I'm human in that aspect. And I'm sorry if that's not what you want to hear from me, but that's really just the way it is. That's how I live my life every day. Whew. So, that got real deep, sorta. Okay, another Mortal Kombat question. These are popular. I love these. If I were to come up with another combat pack, who would I choose to be in it? Now, I think I've answered this before, but I would like to answer this again. Oh, also, a subtext to that question, would I put any guest characters in it? And the short answer to that is no. We have all the guest characters we need. We have all the guest characters I care for. It should be Mortal Kombat characters from here on out if they're going to add anybody else. Excuse me. If I were to make a Combat Pack 2, or 3, excuse me, it would be Fujin, Rain, Havoc, Serena. Fujin, Rain, Havoc, Serena. Havoc because Havoc, I love him. I've said that before. I will not be, I'm can't wait to see him in another game. Havoc. Serena because I want to see her fleshed out. Rain because I liked him in the last game. And Fujin because I want to see him fully fleshed out in this game. I want to see the fans who love Fujin happy. I want to see the Rain fans happy. But you can't make everybody happy. You can't have everybody's favorite in there or it turns into Armageddon all over again. I'm sorry, guys. That's just the way it is. They could put out 5 more combat packs of just Mortal Kombat characters and everybody still wouldn't be satisfied because they'd miss a costume or they'd miss this opportunity for this brutality or this or that. People are always going to complain. I try to complain about things that are ridiculous. I try not to complain about little things that I could complain about. Reptile's classic costume is not his classic costume. It is a variant of his classic costume. It doesn't have his human skin. That's the one I wanted to see. So I'm not completely satisfied with that, but I'm just happy we got one for him. But yeah, would I put more guest characters in? Absolutely not. I draw the line at Leatherface and Alien. Unless you're going to put Freddy in again. So we could do Freddy versus Jason. I don't want to see more guests. I'm tired of seeing guests. Jason was fine. Predator was Leatherface is cool, I guess. And Alien because Predator, but that should be it. And I feel like that's everybody else's opinion too. And I know I keep taking off and putting on this hat, but I'm a little all over the place that way. That's just something you got to get used to with me. What is your favorite WrestleMania moment? And I know I'm not transitioning into these. What is my favorite WrestleMania moment? That's a tough one, Cade. Oh, man. What is my favorite WrestleMania moment? There are so many great ones. Daniel Bryan getting his WrestleMania 30 moment. That was good for me. WrestleMania, I believe it was WrestleMania 30. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where the streak was broken by Brock Lesnar was a great one for me. Edge at 29. Yeah. 29, 28, 29, one of those two. Getting his final world title win and retiring on top of the wrestling world as world champion. That one holds dear in my heart. But the greatest WrestleMania moment of all to me has to be the end of WrestleMania 21. 20 or 21. I always get the two mixed. I want to say it was 20? It was 20? I want to say it was 20 maybe. Again, 20 or 21. You have Eddie Guerrero winning the WWE Undisputed Championship. And you have Chris Benoit winning the WWE. You have him winning the World Heavyweight Championship. So you have the WWE Champion Eddie Guerrero, and you have Chris Benoit as the World Heavyweight Champion. And just that moment of those two in the ring holding their respective titles, and there will never be a better WrestleMania moment to me than that. You get those, I call those not even WrestleMania moments. Those are once in a lifetime moments. And when people ask me why am I a fan of wrestling, I just point them at things like that. And it makes it all worth it, guys. It makes everything worth it to see the hard work that those two put themselves through pay off. And to see that brotherhood in the middle of that ring. The tears were real. The tears were incredible. The moment was incredible. The crowd was incredible. And just to have that was amazing. But that is my favorite WrestleMania moment. I think we're down to the final one, maybe. Let's see. No? Who do you think will... Who do I think will be revealed to be Zoom on Flash Season 2, and what is my reasoning behind it? That... See, I have theories on that, but I say I don't want to be wrong. I don't really care if I'm wrong, but who would I want it to be? Eddie Thawne from Earth 2. That's what... Okay, and here's my backup for that. Eddie Thawne died at the end of Season 1 to get rid of Zoom. To beat Zoom. Unfairly, in my opinion, Zoom, or to get rid of Reverse Flash, not Zoom, to get rid of Reverse Flash. Unfairly, in Season 2, they bring back Reverse Flash because ratings. That's great. I understand that, I'm happy that they did it. It was cool TV. It was great. However, if you can bring back Reverse Flash, you can bring back Eddie Thawne. Now, my theory is that Earth 2 Eddie got jealous of Barry getting Iris on Earth 2, took the Speed Force, Speed 9, Velocity 9, whatever it's called, that they have, that Garrick took to get his powers, and it screwed up. It made him evil. It made him determined to be the fastest man alive to impress Iris West. However, Iris West Allen, excuse me. I think if it's Eddie, it opens up a lot of epic heart moments, like a lot of epic feels moments, like Iris realizing it's Eddie from Earth 2 and not being able to hold those tears back. Flash not wanting to fight Eddie. All this crazy stuff. Same thing if it's Henry Allen. People think it's that. If it's Henry Allen, I don't think Barry's stable, and I don't think he could handle it. I don't think he could deliver the final blow if it's his father, even if it's his Earth 2 dad. People are saying Wally West. No. Here's why I don't think it will be Wally West. There is not enough build for Wally West to matter. Wally West was just introduced to us in this season, mid-season, something like that. I think it was in the mid-season finale. There is not enough emotional stock in him yet to warrant that mask coming off and it being Wally from Earth 2 or Earth 1, whatever. There is not enough emotional stock yet for it to be him. Season 3 or the end of Season 2, if they hold it that long, then maybe. But right now, there is not enough emotional support. There is not enough emotional stock in us as fans, or even them, for it to be Wally and it be devastating. And that's what the reveal to me has to be. It has to be somebody that would devastate the team emotionally. Like with Reverse Flash. They trusted Harrison Wells. They were behind him. And then to have them betrayed so harshly. Harrison Wells was Reverse Flash and did all this horrible stuff to Barry. that'd be awful. So, my guess, Eddie Thawne. Earth 2. Perhaps. Or somebody we're just completely not expecting. Alright. Let's see. What are my thoughts on modern medicine versus natural healing? Oh. Modern medicine versus natural healing. That's a tough one. Because modern medicine has come a long way. It depends on what you're talking about. If you are just sick, like you have a cold, you have a cough, something like that, I think natural healing or family remedies can help you. Like for a cold, chicken soup can go a long way. But for modern medicine, I think it varies from patient to patient. You're gonna have those people who are drug addicts who scam the system for meds. It happens. It's a tragic fact of life, but it happens. So there's that. But I feel like as long as modern medicine doesn't go past a certain, like, as long as they don't try to clone armies for military purposes, or they don't try to build a human monster thing, I'm okay with modern medicine. As for natural healing, you know who you are. You asked the question, so we'll talk more about it together. But modern medicine is incredibly advanced. If they can give war veterans prosthetic arms that function properly, and if they can give people who are blind the opportunity to see their children through feats of modernized science, those kind of stories are incredible to me, and I cry grown man tears. But yeah, there is that. I'm not ignoring the obvious question here. That's obvious that you asked me, MGB. But right now, I'm going to get to that because that's a heavy question. What is my favorite episode of Flash and Arrow this season? Okay, I don't know the names of the episodes, but my favorite episode so far this season is a tie on Flash. It is a tie between they go to Welcome to Earth 2 episode, like where they go to Earth 2, and the episode where Zoom wrecks Barry's world and leaves him unable to walk, I think, unable to move properly or whatever is wrong with him. Those two episodes stick out in my mind. And as for Arrow, this past recent episode where Roy returned, that was one of my favorites, and the episode where Sarah got revived via the Lazarus Pit and the preceding Constantine moment. Those episodes stick out in my mind. Now, this is a tough one. What's your ideal female? It's not an aesthetic thing, if that's what you're asking. It's not she has to have this colored hair, or these colored eyes, or she has to be skinny, or she has to be not skinny, or tall, or smaller than me, or any of that. No. That stuff, I care about the person. I don't care so much about that. I mean, looks are great. Looks are fantastic. Don't get me wrong. If you look great and you have a great personality, that's a bonus for me. But just somebody that I can be around and talk to and laugh with. Somebody who is a smart aleck who can take attitude and give it back, somebody who can take a joke and dish them out, and somebody who I can just be around that makes me feel good about me. I make them feel good about them. They care about me for who I am, and vice versa. However, I'm a sucker for a country accent, or I'm a sucker for somebody who likes the same things that I like. Like, for example, if I'm talking to a certain person and she says, "Have you seen the newest episode of Flash?" My heart melts. Because you watch Flash, I do too. Let's watch it together. That could be a date. But there's that. There's like I said, most guys are gonna be like, well, she has to have a big butt and a big this and a big that. I mean, those things are great, but looks are gonna fade through time, and the heart of the person is always gonna be that way. They're gonna be them, no matter what. Their looks can fade, things can happen, but them as a person stays intact until the day they die, and that's the person that I want to get to know. Looks are great, but they're not everything to me. So I hope that answers your question, MGB, excuse me, MGB. I saw the C in your middle name, and so I said MGC instead of MGB. I think that. Oh, some of you have asked about this. I don't know how you guys saw that. I wore it in one video before. This is just a rope bracelet. It's a bracelet made out of parachute cord. Or no, I don't exactly know what it's made of. I think it's just made out of string. But this bracelet was gifted to me by a friend of mine. They didn't die, nothing bad happened to them, but I wear it to remind me of said person. And I wear it to give me as good luck and to give me hope and strength and that kind of thing. And whenever I pray, I hold on to it, I touch it, or something. I have some kind of physical contact with it besides it being on my wrist, to whenever I pray about that person, as sort of a connection thing. I know that sounds kind of duh and lame and meh, but that's how that is. Alright, guys. I know this is a really long one, like a really, really, really long one. However, I had a lot of questions asked to me. I'll probably get asked more and do another one of these. I like answering these. So if your question didn't get answered in this, sorry. I will do more. I will get to them as best I can. If I end this video, which I'm fixing to, and you ask one, I have no problem waiting for my tablet to charge and immediately recording another one. But until next time, this is an Aeropostale jacket. This is a Superman hat. You guys are my super friends. I've been SuperDude. Up, and away.